Good morning, children. Yesterday, we read a chapter Robinson Crusoe discovers a footprint. Now, as I told you, this chapter is for scene passage for comprehension. Today, we are going to start the scene passage for the same chapter. Now, students, we all know what is a scene passage. That means few questions have been given to us and we have to solve those questions. But few tips we have to follow while doing the scene passage. Let's discuss them one by one. First is answer the question using the same tense. That means in whichever tense the question has been asked. For example, if it is in future tense, we will answer in future tense. And if it is past, we will answer in the past tense. Children, taking care of the tense while answering is very important, otherwise your marks are deducted. Next point is be brief. Be brief doesn't mean that you should be so short that you don't write the full answer. The answer should be full, but the thing is what has been asked in the question, we will follow the same in the answer. If the question has been asked when the event had occurred, so we will write about when only. And if it is asked where the event had occurred, so we will write about where only. No need to write the whole story. Write only that much which had been asked. Now the next point is very important. It is to use proper punctuation mark while answering. Children, we have always observed that when you do scene passage, most of the times you forget to end the answer with the full stop, or you forget to put a capital letter in the beginning. This is really a bad habit. Whenever you are answering, do remember to start the answer with a capital letter and end the answer with a full stop. That's important. Next is, you are going to ask thinking questions. So while answering thinking questions, you have to think twice first and then read the question carefully. If the question has been asked, do you think, or what's in your opinion, you have to give the answer that way, in my opinion, or yes, I think so, or no, I don't think so. And if they have asked you two suggestions, you have to mention two suggestions, otherwise your answer will be incomplete. That means you have to read carefully. And the last point to keep in mind is antonyms and synonyms are to be found from the passage only. For example, you know the antonym, the opposite of ugly is beautiful. But maybe in passage, beautiful word is not there. So you have to find the similar meaning of beautiful. It could be pretty, it could be charming. So your opposite will change. It will not be ugly, beautiful. It could be ugly, pretty, or ugly, charming. So you have to read the passage carefully to find out the antonyms and synonyms from the passage itself. Fine? Now let's solve one passage together. The question in exams could be like this. Read the given passage carefully and answer the questions that follow. That means, first of all, we are going to read the passage. Let's read the passage together. So the passage goes like this. And so I lay fearful for many days and prayed for protection. In doing so, I was much comforted and began going out to investigate. But even now, as I went forward, I looked behind me frequently because I am still very frightened. However, as I went about for 2 or 3 days and saw nothing, I became a little bolder. I decided to go down to the shore again and examine the footprint once more. I decided to measure it with my own footmark. So, children, this is the passage from which we are going to find the answers. Now, our first question is, when did Robinson begin going out to investigate? Now, if we look at the question carefully, at first it is in past tense, and now we have to find when he started. So, if we go back to our passage, it's like, and so I lay fearful for many days and prayed for protection. In doing so, I was much comforted and began going out to investigate. So, if we look carefully, we will find that we have to keep two things in mind. One is praying, and second is when he started feeling comforted. So, while answering, we will keep these two things in mind and we will frame our answer. Let's see how our answer will look like. So the answer could be, when Robinson got comforted after praying for protection, he began going out to investigate. Now here I have included both protection as well as getting comforted. So the proper answer is, now our next question is, why did Robinson look behind frequently when he was going forward? Now I have already explained you why he was looking behind while explaining the chapter. Yes, either he was frightened or he was thinking somebody is following. But here now we will find what is in the text and we will write accordingly. So let's find. The answer is, Robinson looked behind frequently when he was going forward because he was still very frightened. Now children, I didn't write only he was very frightened. No, I wrote the whole sentence. That is our proper answer. Whole sentence we have to write. Now our next is, complete the given sentence. Robinson dash when he went about for 2-3 days dash. Now here our complete the given sentence is not direct. That means it's not directly mentioned in the text. So we will read the text and try to mold this for our answer. Now your answer is somewhere here in this text, that is, however, as I went about for 2 or 3 days and saw nothing, I became a little bolder. Now here you have to find the correct answer for your fill in the blanks. That means Robinson became bold when he saw nothing. So answer will be, Robinson became bolder when he went about for 2-3 days and saw nothing. Yes, this could be your answer. So we have to. So our next question is finding antonyms and synonyms from the passage. I have explained both in detail while explaining the chapter. So here I'll rush a little bit. Our fourth question is, find antonyms or opposites from the passage. The first word is destruction. Destruction means to destroy. Obviously the meaning is to destroy. So opposite will be to save. So let's find out the word that mean the same. So the word that I got is protection. And next word is seldom. Seldom means very rare, and generally. Generally could be the opposite. Word for generally is frequently. Question 5. Find synonyms. That means similar meaning words from the passage. To study carefully means examine. To examine something. And to find the size of something in standard units. We know you generally use scale for that. Yes, that is measure. The meaning is measure. And the last is your thinking question. The thinking question here you have got is, suppose you are alone at home and a stranger comes to your house. What would you do? Any two. Mean you have to tell two options, two measures that you would take. Students, here I would like to tell you, don't like answers like I will call the police or I'll start shouting, because the person who has come to your house could be your relative or could be your neighbor also. So don't write such answers. Rather, try to think something logical while answering the thinking question, and no need to write in detail. And the answer that I thought was like this: if a stranger comes to my house when I am alone, number one, I'll not open the door. Number two, I'll call my parents and tell about him. This is the answer that came in my mind. You can write any suitable answer that you would like to write. No problem. And student, that was all for scene passage.